Wrap it up. Welcome back to the Sound Important podcast, everyone. Hopefully, you've been enjoying the episodes. And if you haven't, it means you've not listened to them. There's some absolute belters in the pipeline and a few more coming up. And hopefully, you're enjoying the direction. I don't know because none of you have messaged me. So if you do, please message me on Instagram. Tell me it's great. And if you want to be a guest, just tell me you want to be a guest. I'll talk to fucking anyone. I've got no friends. So on the episode today, we have Ben John, a mate of mine. Played rugby to a really good level, better than most, and doesn't do it anymore, and makes a load of content and is really good at it. And we're going to dig into the story. So, Ben, how you doing?
Yes, good. Yeah, all good, mates. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Good to see you face. I'm seeing you in must be a year, is it? Maybe more. Mad how quick it's going, isn't it? But yeah, excited, man.
Yeah, let's get into it straight away. So, you're the second player I've had back on the podcast who's gone through the other side of it. So I think a big part of it. We had Ed Colson on, and he's now doing some cool business stuff, but really talking about, I think, the way that the S&C space can grow as well, and is actually listening to the people that play the games. I did a post the other day actually talking about, the weights don't influence the scoreboard.
Anyone who's enjoy that.
It's true though, isn't it? And I say it from my profession, getting people to run fast. It doesn't actually matter, unless you can score, unless you can win games. And for anyone listening, remember the film Once Were Warriors?
I haven't seen that yet. No.
Too much weights, not enough speed work. About the old Maori boys fighting in New Zealand. It's an old film.
Right. Okay. Yes, I've heard people talking about that. I need to watch that.
Yeah. He just banged. What's his name? Richie the Muss, and he just bangs the crap out of this absolute bruiser with speed work. So, but for you as a player, let's dig into what you liked, what you didn't like about S&C coaches, S&C and playing, like that whole kit and caboodle. What was your general experience of it?
To be fair, I retired 26, but the last 2 years I actually started growing into my body. What I mean by that is that before that I was just gangly. I was just all arms, legs, not that strong. But as I was getting towards that 25, 26, I starting to be more of a power athlete, which massively helped. I started actually looking quick because, I was never quick off 10 meters. It always used to frustrate me. I used to do 10-meter speed tests, and I was always like the last back. But then on a pitch, I feel way quicker on the pitch because obviously you read the game and you're understanding body shapes and pictures in front of you. But testing, it used to drive me nuts. I used to be like, how am I so slow? What's going on? But as I was getting older, then I think that the speed testing was getting better because I was actually getting stronger because I started weights. I remember my first getting into the academy under 16s. I was the only guy warming up with the bar, like doing squats and bench press. Could not squat. So it took me a bit of time to build into it. But I could definitely see those last 2 years of my career making a big difference and transferring over to games as well because I was looking strong, feeling good.
And there's a big point you make about it, and I'll shamelessly plug my book. In my book, we talk about game IQ as well as speed IQ. And you've said there, I was the slowest in the speed testing, but I felt faster on the field. That's game IQ. You know the game. And that's a really important part for a lot of players. So then by the time you like grow into your body, and I know what that feels like. I was 6'2", 75 kilos at 17 years old. And it was like, where has he gone? Where's the rest of it? And but then when you grow into that size, you start banging boys, and your confidence grows with it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think what helped me is as a kid, I think me and my mates after a rugby game, we go down the park and play. I'm not sure if you ever played it, British Bulldogs. That's all we used to play as kids, British Bulldogs. So the 1v1 tackling, 1v1 trying to beat someone, it massively helped And we used to play as well, like in random places with like, I don't know, flower beds in the way, and you had to jump over there. So you had to be very agile and miss all that dangerous stuff. But yeah, that definitely helped because you're reading bodies, trying to pick out where they're looking, the shape they're getting in, how you can evade them, or how you can make a hit on them, and games like that. And as a kid, I played every game under the sun. My brother and myself and all my mates, anything that was on TV, Mighty Ducks. We'd be all kitted up then in hockey kits. Again, so anything that was on TV, we'd be replicating. So just try to play as many games as possible. And that definitely helped. Game IQ as well, and understanding shapes and bodies and whatnot.
And so when you like, I think it's so important seeing pictures. And I'll come back to something I had an experience recently with some 1v1s in coaching, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But so how did you feel from someone who grew into their body with weights? How did you feel like the load of a weekly grind, essentially playing? You play for Ospreys, right? So in what was it then? It's not the URC then. It was the Magnus
Pro 12, yeah.
Yeah, the Pro 12. So in the Pro 12 with travel, and then lifting on top and training. How do you remember that being?
Yeah, it was. To be fair, I probably did way too much. I was obsessed, so I would get home and just go, nothing else to do because my missus at the time was in wife now, but missus at the time we lived in London, so nothing else to do. So I'd go to the gym again and just sit in the bike, do some stretching, or do some guns or something. I was just obsessed by training. So I was young as well, so I would recover quickly. And I wasn't a speed athlete, so I was just an endurance type of athlete. I just repeat things all the time. So I wish though I did focus more on recovery for sure. Because the importance, I think I kept on getting injured as well. I was very injury prone. They used to call me One Game. That was my nickname. And that one game was just before the contract negotiations as well. So I played decent, get injured then for a few weeks. So probably all that had to do with, and I think that was more to do with me being obsessed outside of training as well, trying to do extras all the time, gym wise and whatnot, because I was bored really. But in training, I just I felt good, felt fine really. I just
I think that good questions to ask, and I had the same with Ed actually. That was on. It's an interesting approach because when you're in there, it's something to think about. When you're in there, you do everything you can to stay there because it's your boyhood dream. You're playing, you're a pro rugby player, and it's like I can't give this up, and then I guess again then like you're a rugby coach now, you're then offloading your responsibility onto someone else to say, hang on a minute, slow down, or you're not doing enough. And rugby's got a terrible culture of more is better rather than more is more. Were there any people around you that would say, hang on a minute, Ben, you need to pull back on this a little bit sometimes?
Yeah, I remember getting injured once when I was about 21, 22, and Philo Tiatia was one of the players there, just turned into the coach's role. And he's now the Dragons head coach. And he said to me, I got injured, and he was like, mate, it sounds like you're doing too much. Have a little look at what you're doing around and outside of training. And after he said that, I kind of took a couple of steps and back and had a think about what I was doing. And funny enough, I was 22. I got injured for about 6 months after that, and then I got sent then to Dragons to actually play for a few months, and that was amazing because Lee Byrne, who was just coming to the end of his career, was like a Welsh legend, and watching him train was amazing because he would go max effort, like straight into it, and if he made a line break, he'd finish the try off, and he would do everything. But then as soon as he's finished, he'd be chilling out, relaxing, recovering. And seeing that, then I was like, oh, if he's a Great British Lion, Welsh legend, he's obviously doing something right. So I kind of like look to see what he was doing and try to mimic that. And after that, then I started, looking after myself a little bit at 23, 24 years old. And then that's when I started getting momentum in my playing career then.
Yeah, that's nice. That's lovely. And I love what he was doing, finishing training tries. Jesus Christ.
He made a line break and he was through. He was like, I need to practice going. It's a habit. And I was like, I like that. Yeah. Because somebody blow the whistle and be like, down or whatnot. So, yeah.
Yeah. I tucked into some lad on Tuesday night for not finishing a training try. Went straight up to him. I said, what are you fucking doing? It's a habit, mate. You know, we're bottom of the fucking league because we don't score enough tries. You got to do them here.
Yeah, exactly. I remember him saying, he was like, if the boys have a go at you for finishing the tries off, just have a laugh and get back in the position quick. And I was like, so I started doing it all the time then. And the boys were like, mate, what are you doing? And I was like, finishing them off, mate. Leave in.
50 tries a year, mate. That's it.
Yeah,
that's what they and do you know, culturally, do you know what's really interesting? In American football, from the guys that I've worked with that have been out in the NFL, you're expected to finish. Even if you get like tackled on your route or something, you get up and you run it into the end zone because it's a mindset thing. And that's very like an interesting thing. And there's something that you've said there as well about, said you're an engine guy, so you were just, you could just take volume. You just handled volume well, which probably is quite for me, if I were to put my S&C hat on and know exactly, like, you could just always say, if someone can handle volume well, then volume's going to be their enemy, because the long tail effect of too much volume just will bite you in the ass later. If you've got a sprinter, they're allergic to volume. Someone like Christian Wade, Tom Van Dale, they're like allergic to volume. They just can't handle it. So they'll just blow up straight away. And they'll get tight or tweak a hammy, where the volume guys, they'll just churn it out. They'll just chug along until something, bang, and then it's a big one. And I think as coaches, it's really important to recognize, you kind of like, I've got like archetypes in my head. You look around the weights room, you've got the bodybuilder, the power lifter, the bloody CrossFitter, and they're all trying to play rugby all at the same time, but all train differently in the gym.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting you say that. I like that way of thinking. Yeah, just grinding it down, and then all of a sudden, then an accumulation of wear and tear or volume. Then something would come up then, injury wise.
Here's a good question for you, because I'm going to shamelessly plug my book. There's a section in it where it talks about how, if you were to liken players and athletes to their animal personalities, it will tell you a lot about the way that you should treat them. So if you were an animal, what athletic animal would you be?
I think I'd be some sort of retriever dog or something, just constantly running around like an editor, get excited over anything, any sport, like ball or anything. Yeah, play. I'm out running around.
Like a collie.
Yeah, like a collie, like a spaniel or something, just constantly moving. I can't sit still. So that's probably why I used to go to the gym after training. I was like, well, I can't sit in the house. I don't like playing games or anything like computer games or... Yeah, so I'm just out all the time moving. Same now, I'm like sitting in like this life of obviously being at the desk. It's just like I'm about half hour in, and then all of a sudden then something will catch my eye in the window and I'll just be staring out the window and just mind's gone. So I would say, what were you? Fox or something?
I always categorize myself as a wolf.
Okay.
Wolf, that's it.
That's it.
I won't do much, but when I do it really purposely, do it fast, do it quick. And that's me. That's me. So I'll go missing for 79 minutes on the field and then just pop up for one,
when it's ready.
I tell you what, there's quite a few bloody donkeys in professional rugby as well, isn't there, though?
I would definitely say dog, because chasing kicks, running around. I'd just be flat out all the time, running same pace, back and forth, up and down. The best ones are the giraffes. Like,
like literally just these gangly lads just bounding around the field, just having a great time. Like you always, when you see a second row go through a hole on the field, they're like,
leaving their head
"What is?"
behind.
Or you just see a scrum hat, like a bright red scrum hat, just floating around
No
the
man's
field.
land.
Yeah, I digress. But the thing, before we get into the coaching side, and obviously you had to retire, I was going to say about the pictures. I had a group the other week, and I put them through 60 1v1s. It was winner stays on 3 groups of 8. They went through about 60 1v1s, and there were only 3 completions in a square from the try line to the 22 to the 15 1v1s. And that, we talk about your upbringing and how you found space because you just were 1v1s. You were just seeing it all the time, learning to use what you had. I think that's a big thing about performance and coaching and everything we say. If we use what we've got more effectively. And I just thought it was really interesting. I want to jump back into that when we talk about the coaching stuff that you do and how you do that, because I know the way that you and the mission that you've set out to do is quite different to all those other bits. So if you just give the brief rundown of like how you retired and then that next chapter of how things just changed, really, because it takes a really interesting turn.
Yeah, so retired 2018, 2017, something like that. So I got concussed. I was concussed for a few times during a year's period, and every time I was getting concussed, it was taking longer to get back. So got to a time where the final one, I decided my contract was running out. So I was like, right, I'm going to take a year out to try and fully recover, give myself the best opportunity to get back, as I was still, I think I just turned 26. So I was like, right, take a year out. And Christy, my wife, girlfriend at the time, was up here in London. So I was like, I'll go to see it, because I knew if I was in the environment, I'll be back in 2 months' time, just because I'll be itching. But if I give myself the best opportunity to get away from a year, try and recover or whatever. So I went to London, and then I decided after the year then, so I went to London to do personal training. I should have actually worked on a post-rugby scenario, but I was kind of like, well, shit, what qualifications have I got? I can do PT, I'll do that. So, and luckily I loved coaching as well. So I just went down the PT route. But a year's time then, I decided to do some fitness, try and get back into it, move. And the symptoms were still there, still lingering, whether it's because I hadn't done any maximal effort stuff, I don't know. But I had like headaches and whatnot. So I was like, right, I think it's probably best I do retire. So then I went into personal training till what's the lockdown, 2021, at the end of first lockdown or second lockdown. Loved personal training. It was good, enjoyed it. It was good because the number one thing they say you miss in rugby is that camaraderie. And I went into a gym with ex-professional fighters, boxers, athletes. So it was quite good. You walk into the gym and they'd be calling you all names and whatnot, bringing you down to earth. It was that environment, which was great. Manor, London, it was brilliant. And then lockdown happened then, and I had loads of time because I was the head coach of the gym, so we went online. It was easy to manage. And then I was like, if I was a kid, and I love what Joe Wicks was doing, but I was like, if I was a kid, I won't be doing jumping jacks and stuff. I'd be getting a rugby ball thrown at the wall in the garden or whatever, just driving my parents crazy. So I was like, well, I might as well just start doing some skill stuff for kids to follow. And my wife as well, she's a brand, she's graphic designer, product designer, and she does a lot of brand work as well. So we were looking at the model of Joe Wicks, and we were like, right, no one really knew who Joe Wicks' name was in the first 5 years of his career. He was the body coach. So we were like, right, no one cares about your name, Ben. So we need to find a catchy name. So we were looking online, and I was like, oh, is that? So I looked at the rugby coach, and that was taken, and then the rugby trainer. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So that's launched the rugby trainer then. So and from there, just filming content in the garden or whatever, down the local park on skill stuff. And 4 years on, then it's just grown into pretty cool gig, which I'm doing full time, which is amazing.
It's a fucking beast. Let's be honest. Like he's talking it down. It's an absolute beast. He's done so well. He should be really proud of himself. I remember and I think when we say differently before, I think not to put words in your mouth, but I remember you saying something that the whole idea was to help kids develop skills on their own, so they didn't have to be with other people, because that's a big challenge for a lot of people. Is that correct?
Yes. So as a kid, my dad was massive into cricket, big cricketer. So we'd always go down the park, me, my brother, my sister, and we would just do tennis, ball catching. Virtually, that's probably why I thought of a dog, because he used to stand there with a tennis ball racket and just absolutely leather the ball. And we used to chase it around, catch it, and whatnot. But that got me into a really good habit. Being like 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, doing that, I knew, right, I'd go down the park and play, but it was actually training. So doing that from a young age. As I got to about 13, I started going to the rugby ground on my own and just working on my kicking skills, passing skills, all on my own. And as you went into the professional environment, then you realize everyone is spending 10 minutes after their training session working on their own individual skill, because you might go into a rugby tackling session and you might only do 4 tackles. So you're like, right, I need to cover some more, maybe different variations or whatnot. So everyone's doing their extra. So it's like, right, there's obviously, it's obviously scope for extras. I've done it all my life since I was a kid. So, but then I would look online, and football, American football, basketball, individual skill is massive. And because it's like a football, you kick it out of the wall and it comes straight back to you. Whereas rugby, unless you're a goal kicker, you rarely spend time on your own working on your skills.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, if I can encourage one person to pick up a rugby ball and work on something, then I'm happy. So any post that I would post, it'd be like, right, one kid, one person. That is all I'm after. Anything more, that's a bonus. So that's all. That's all my content's been on. Is if one kid or one player or even someone who does not like rugby decides, oh, I'm gonna give that a go. So that's always been my mission with the rugby trainer.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so good. And you reminded me, Jesus Christ, reminded me of a story. Do you know Will Harries by any chance?
Yeah, Welsh Sevens legend.
Yeah. So I had him at Ealing. He was great. We got him lifetime speed PBs in his 30s.
No way.
And great lad, right? And he said when he was at the Dragons, it's when you said about the dog, he said he had to do a fitness session with an S&C that would basically just kick a ball down a field, and he had to go and run after it and bring it back to him. He did it for half an hour. That was his fitness.
Right. Oh my days, yeah.
So good. Like, just popped into my head. And just for the S&C twist on this, just so people listen to it, don't do that. Just don't do that with a player, because that's a fucking waste of time. But so I think something really important that you touched on there is how because coaches listening to this, they, the average salary for a strength and conditioning coach in professional sport is £30,000 a year. The average salary, and what you give up for that is a lot.
Oh, and crazy. First in, last out with the physios. Crazy.
Yeah. And when I first started in 2012, when I got my first internship, there was only one postgraduate degree course, and now there's 40. So you can imagine how the volume of coaches that are being churned out, and everyone's looking for opportunity to work. And we're, that carrot of being in the pros is kind of, everyone gets a fancy email address and a tracksuit, and that's about, that's what you get, and a bit of an ego boost with it. But the interesting point there is that you're pulling from your own experiences as a child more than a player, because you could have gone, well, I'm going to try and work with current pros on their skills and bits and bobs, but we both know they're already there. They're already there on that journey,
Yeah, I had it was a point about a year into the rugby trainer, where I was doing some pros, like one-on-one, and I was also coaching kids, and it got to a point where I love coaching the pros because it's like with the 1%ers. I love working out how to improve their skill and how they can apply onto. I love that side. It's all individual stuff that I love. But then it came a point where I was like, which direction do I go? Because I can't do both, because I really wanted to niche down in one area. And if I needed to broaden later, then so be it. But so yeah, I made the decision to look at, because 99% of rugby is juniors or grassroots. So and there's so much opportunity. I always take reference from football, basketball, and NFL. I look all over social media on them because they're about 10 years ahead of us in the individual skills or individual coaching. Like NFL, they probably all got their own individual physio, S&C and whatnot. So I was just thinking rugby is still behind professionalism that way. So I was like, right, I'll look at the grassroots stuff and try and help as much as I can and try and grow the brand that way.
Yeah, it's a great decision. And as you say, like there is that space for that 1%, but to make a sustainable business out of it, that 1% doesn't do your monthly shopping for you. It doesn't, from that realistic side, for me, part like coming out of when I got fired at Ealing in 2018, I was so lucky that in the January, Alex Gray turns up at my house and puts me on basically a full-time salary for the next 2 and a bit years, so I could build on everything else, and that was so lucky. And I've talked about how those things end up taking a few people to court that I tried to build business with. But you're so right. It's what I love about what you do, is seeing that opportunity that you can solve the problems that show up at senior level 10 years before.
Yeah. And one thing I've figured out about myself quite early on, form finishing rugby, is I'm very good at following structure. So when a structure is in front of me, I can execute. I'm very good at executing, but I find it really hard to build my own personal structure. I need someone to help me. And that's where I hired Alex from early on. I was like, right, every Monday, Al, we're going to work out what I need to do this week, and I'll just execute it. So every Monday we would meet and we would set goals and everything. And he's been a massive help. He's still with me to the day, 4 years on. Fair play for him lasting that long with me. But something like that has been a massive help. Is I execute. I do very well. It's just I'm not great at planning. You can ask my wife that. So that's been a massive help with that. And that's just trying to understand yourself and be very reflective on what you're good at and what your weaknesses are, and trying to hire someone or bring someone in or get some help or find. YouTube's been awesome as well. How good YouTube is for editing, filming, all of that's just come from YouTube as well. That's been a massive help.
And for those listening, Alex, he refers to as Alex Priest, who was on an episode a couple weeks back. I actually don't know which one it was because I don't number them, because like Ben, I can't keep up with that shit. Like it's there. Go look for it. But what you have said there is something really important about seeking out different areas, like finding expertise in different walks of life, different areas, and also taking a risk and taking a chance on different things. I think, if I'm right, how you and Alex met is that you had an initial service trade, wasn't it?
So I was the coach, and he came in, and his missus came to the gym, and I put him through their paces. And fair play, Anna was a beast, but he was a bit of a melt on the assault bike. And I was like, mate, what's going on? I caught up with him after, and from there, when I did go on my own from the gym, I remembered him, and I had a chat with him, dropped him a message, be like, oh mate, can you help me out? And gladly he said yes. So it's helped me out massively. He's been a huge help.
That's so good. And so from an opportunity, because there's a couple other things, and I'm conscious of time, but from there's lots of coaches that'll be listening, and just for scale, what's your current internet online following? What's your current scale that you've built up from nothing?
So I manage about 10 accounts all over social media, and that's my academy as well. So my rugby trainer one, I've got 210,000 on Instagram, 240 on TikTok, 260 on YouTube. And then also I have like LinkedIn, Twitter, and the other platforms, and I just keep an eye on them. And the same with my academy. I've got like 20,000 across them three as well, the three major ones. So I've always tried to, because you never know when something's going to change, or for example, TikTok could be the next big thing, and everyone just gets rid of Instagram. So I wanted to make sure that I cover the three main channels, and try to be quite even on all three of them. But yeah, it's been I caught it at the right time as well, because rugby and social media has always had a bit of it's kind of I caught it at the right time. Rugby started opening the gates to social media as well, and a lot, and it was not hard. It was only Rugby Bricks doing coaching on social media when I joined.
Wow. Yeah.
So I caught it at the right time, and now it's loads. It's incredible to see. So yeah, the right time, and now catching the wave, which is nice. So yeah, it's taken a while to build, but I've been really lucky with the response to like the clubs, the brands, and the players been allowing me to come in and film and share their knowledge as well as mine.
And so people, I think, mate, I love it. I absolutely love what you do. I'm actually going to practice the Carter kick when I go to training tonight. I didn't get to do it the other night, so I'm going to start banging it. I've got to make myself useful again on the field. So
yeah, that's the thing. Is as an adult, as you get older, still like that play is a massive difference. Like a massive benefit to having a stressful day at work. Go down, kick a ball around, have a little 10 minutes to yourself. Nothing better, especially when the sun's out now. Lovely.
Oh, beauty. Polish off the rapid boots and have a go. And so there's going to be coaches listen to this going, he manages fucking how many accounts? And they're going to go, well, I just need one, and I need to turn it into a bit of money, because that's the goal, isn't it? Like primary goal. If you service your higher purpose, if you service that big mission with great value and human connection, then you will be able to monetize it. And I think that you've done that incredibly well. But how, like, if you were to say we got a fag packet, quick conversation to give, an S&C coach's advice to making content, for example, just putting stuff online, with a preface that lots of S&C coaches think they need to be really academic. They need to sound smart. So you tell us what to do. Tell them what to do, Ben.
Yeah. So I'll go through a couple of things that massively helped me. Firstly is the classic KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Like as an ex-athlete, if I ask a coach, mate, can you send me a few drills to get me faster? If they started sending me back all this jargon, scientific stuff, I'd be like, I don't care. Just tell me in a basic form what I need to do. And the best way, anyone who asks me about how to produce simple content is, imagine you're speaking to a 5-year-old. Like, you've got to explain this to a 5-year-old, keep it simple, and make sure it's no more than, obviously, the classic 3 things. Make sure it's no more than 3 things. But how I don't give my posts, I try to keep it to just one thing, mostly. One thing, because that one thing, for example, if you were talking about the acceleration, I don't know, first couple of steps in the acceleration, that piece of content, you could make 3, 4, 5 different versions. You could make a visual version. You could make an audio. You could make something where you break the tips down. So there's loads of different ways how you can just get that one message across, and that could be 5 different videos. And also, every content that I produce, I try to make sure it hits 3 categories. So it's entertaining, firstly, because otherwise no one will watch it. So even if you're putting something educational, it needs to be a little bit entertaining. has to have my personality in it as well, because that's the difference between me and someone else. So entertaining, educational, and it has to be inspiring. It has to make you want to put your boots on and get down the park and give it a go. So any post that I do, them three things, they have to be in there. If they're not, if I post and then after a couple of days, I'm like, actually, no, that's not the right. I'll just get rid of it and just delete it. And usually I was speaking to Alex the other day, and we're both totally different. So I do to learn. So I just do things, like I'll do whatever, and if I think it's right, I'll do it and I'll learn afterwards. Alex likes to take a little bit more time, do a bit more research, and then do. So that's why we work well together. Sometimes he slows me down and we have a chat about things, whereas I'm just itching to do. I just want to do it, see what happens, and go from there. So that tandem works well with that. And another thing is the educational stuff, the ones that you want to share the message, they're not going to get many views because they're educational, and they're not going to draw the audience in. So make sure if you are doing educational stuff, you need to get the views. So that's why sometimes I do some ridiculous skill that has nothing to do with making you a better rugby player, but it's a fun thing to do. Yeah. So, and then people come to my page, then they're like, "Oh, I'll have a look at this guy. He's got quite good skills, or he's done something a bit like different." And I click, and then boom, all the educational stuff will be there as they flick through. So you've got to try and invite them in by doing something that is, I don't know, like whoa, like that wow moment, but that's not clickbait. You don't. I don't like going down the negative route. I just like to make something fun, fast, about high energy. And then as they come in, then they know exactly they're going to get better then by following a few of my educational videos, which don't do as well.
That's so good. That's awesome. That's gold for people, because what you've done is just hopefully if people even rewind that back and just literally write down what Ben has just said and go and execute. It's something I even hired Alex as well. He helped me with that load. We had the account rocking and then someone hacked into it and I lost it. I respect the hustle. He was selling bumpers for Dodge cars and he made $1,000 in a day. So
no way.
Yeah, he did. He cleaned up, mate. Cleaned up.
What was his secret?
He tried to spend £6,000 of my money in a day. That's what he put the ad spend all the way up. Yeah, but I got all the money back, so it was all good. But so it's huge, and you touch on some things that stick with me. Any S&C coach will know if I say that there are some negative Nancys and pariahs of the S&C space that just fucking try and shit on people to get attention, and that's really damaging for your brand. And it really removes trust, and people live off it. Like I got caught in a crossfire. I was like, oh my god, this is really bad. This is really hurts my persona, because you live and die by the smile on your face, as it were. And so I love that you just said that. And there was something that I wanted to ask. Oh, exactly. I mean, it's gone in all different directions. I'm really conscious of the time, but just from posting for that one person, that one key in mind, what doors has that opened for you? What has that created for you?
As in posting on social media?
Yeah, so from building the rugby trainer, and I want to go right back, because I think I love the playfulness and the vulnerability and the honesty within it, because it's basically, I think you said it at the beginning, it's like you're creating the content that if your dad had seen it, he would have played it, he would have done it with you in the park. You're all the way back to 6, 7, 8-year-old Ben there, and just living it fast forward. So just from entertaining that experience, what has that allowed you to do with the rugby trainer?
Good question. So with the I decided then to build. It got to a point where the rugby trainer I was doing coaching stuff, but then I was doing brand stuff, and so I got to a direction where I was like, right, I'm going to split this into two and have my academy, which is all about coaching, and the rugby trainer, which is all about getting you to. So one of them, rugby trainer, is about getting you to pick up a rugby ball, and then the academy then is about, if you are picking up the rugby ball, then this is how you get better. And that side of it, the academy side, is things that you can do in 10 minutes. So all the sessions are 10 minutes based. And that is the stuff that I did with, like, going down the park with your parent or brother, sister, teammate, or on your own, and following drills and stuff. And I love that side of it. And that's what's really cool, is getting players all over the world, different countries and whatnot, just doing that, sending it in and seeing progress. Because in 10 minutes a week, you're not going to see much progress in a month. But if you invest in a year, you see a massive difference, because the quality in that 10 minutes is going to be great over that year. So, and also builds good habits for youngsters as well, because it's all under 16. So if they can spend 10 minutes on their own over a year being consistent, then they're building good habits inside and outside of rugby as well. And then the rugby trainer stuff, then the opportunities that's opened up has been incredible. I've got to work with some of the best players, male, female, in the world. 1 week I could be working with, like, Marcus Smith, doing some, like, skill content with him, and the next week then I'm down Llandaff RFC with a kid who's just starting off rugby. So both of them I get really excited plus nervous for, because it's so weird in front of a camera, because it's just me and a camera. I'm fine, but as soon as because I'm not used to people being there, I've started now to. I've hired a public speaking coach to help me with that side of it, because I do get nervous with as soon as one person's the other side of the camera. I'm like, oh shit. So, but yeah, it's all a learning curve. I'm trying to continue learning whatever that is. Doesn't have to be rugby skills, but everything, education, as in public speaking, I'm doing now. I'm trying to pick up my Welsh again. I went to a Welsh school, so I just want to revisit that, making sure if any, well, nothing's come up yet, but if any Welsh opportunities did come up in Cymraeg, then I'll be confident to deliver those sessions.
Yeah.
So just trying to do a little bit.
It's important that, you know, it's incredibly important to have that. And, you know, for the listeners, they, you know, from what, you know, you've done there, you've been able to create a full-time business, a thriving business, a growing business, and that one that if you wrote down on paper when you first started, you probably would be like, that's not happening. But just by executing, being a good dog, as it were.
Yeah, just doing and learning. That's the thing, is, like, in the world of rugby, because you're so worried about what your teammates think of you. If you did something, the first thing your teammates would be like is call you right out. So you have to drop your ego with anything social media and just think about, right, I need to help that one person. That was my motto anyway, help one person. So as long as I had the right attitude, the right mindset, and I was delivering the right message, then the more I was doing, the more I was forgetting about what I think my mates would call me or whatever. So that side is hard to start with, but once you leave that at the door, you'll be so much better for it. And another thing that helps me, obviously, S&C World's different because it's a lot of data and whatnot. Whereas skill stuff it's hard to measure it via data. So I always say that this is how I like to do this execution and skill. And then if anyone comments saying, "No, that's not how my coach does it," I'd be like, "Yeah, there's millions of other ways. Give it a go. Try it out and see how it helps you." So I'm just trying to give them a different opportunity to try things. And that's why what's helped me as well is go into these pro players and being like, right, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I want you to share how you pass the ball, because that might resonate with someone else, a different voice, different message. So I'm trying to share other people. So I go to other coaches as well and share their message, and you're using each other then, because at the end of the day, if you're online, that means the whole world can see you. So there's enough people in the whole world to get customers. So using one another, like, for example, if I was an S&C coach and you were just using each other, bouncing ideas off one another, filming content or whatever. So yeah, it's going to benefit both.
Yeah, it's so good. It's like your what you said there about, you know, S&C and data. It's you know, there's so much artistry in coaching, which S&C should fall into, because it's the movement, it's the play. You know, I'm actually working on a piece of content, build raptors, not robots, because I found a really good video of someone dressed a robot up as like LeBron James trying to pass shoot a 3-pointer. Doesn't work. But that side of things is so exciting to be able to step into and explore, and it's like with a skills coach being evaluated by a performance analyst all the time. It doesn't work that way, and it's everyone has their own experience and what drives them. I think that's so bloody useful, and the way you put that across is wonderful. And I'm really, I'm really glad that you brought up the continuing, learning, going to see a public speaker, because lots of S&C coaches struggle with those sorts of things. Lots of people struggle with those things, and always being able to like reach out to help, for help. Big shift, and I'll be honest with you as well, big shift with this podcast is to bring people on that I know, but also that I admire, that I've spent time with. I look up to the things that you do, to have this conversation to help other people, because I'm 37. I'm at the next part of my career and my journey, and the best way to do it is to diversify and bring in, with 2025, it's not 1999 anymore, and there's one S&C coach per team. There's a whole world that can benefit. So I think it's so valuable and so important.
Yeah, I was. Funnily enough, I had a coach, Dan Richards. He is Daniel Richards. He is a front row specialist, a hooker coach, and he was very big on hand position, on obviously a hooker throw. And I was watching him do exactly like the action, which was like pinch and roll. And I was looking at how deliberate and how much detail he puts into the fingers, and I was like, shit, why have I never thought about that in passing and the relationship between your fingers and hands? Because to transfer energy through. So even like that little thing, it just made me think about exactly what I was doing with my hands and how I can coach that element as well, because I do it automatically, but I've never really thought about how much detail I can go into it, and how much I did a YouTube video then about 2 weeks ago, put it online, and within like a few weeks, 2 weeks, it's got almost 70,000 views, which is really good for an educational video on just literally using your fingers. And what's really good about that is players are messaging me saying, oh my God, how much that's made a big difference just by focusing on that little thing. And another thing, when we were going back to the detail, last one, is
that's okay.
One thing I realized is, because you know so much as an S&C coach, or whoever's listening knows so much, you overlook the simplest thing that could help someone so much. Like, that's why I say keep it simple. Imagine you're speaking to a 5-year-old, is because one thing that you might overlook as second nature, or you just do it anyway, that could be something so massively beneficial for a youngster or a grassroots or an amateur player. It's just thinking simplest thing possible, and then that is one piece of content, and then you can add a little block onto that then, and just so the more you break it down, the more content you've got.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so good. So if lads and ladies want to find you, I'm pretty sure it's the Rugby Trainer everywhere.
Yeah, Rugby Trainer everywhere. Yeah.
Another TikTok, good tip.
YouTube. Yeah. Find a brand name.
Yeah, keep it consistent.
What's yours?
That's it.
Portland.
Yeah, the Sam Portland. That's it.
Sam Portland.
The Sam Portland, and that's Speedboats Portland. You know it. That's the one. So
you got me fast, mate.
There we go.
You got me fast. I remember I messaged you for an agility program because I played tag rugby or touch rugby. I remember messaging you, mate. I was sharp. I was carving it up.
That's how we first met. You came down to a speed session in Acton, didn't you?
Yeah, and then after I messaged and you give me an agility program, and I was like, "This is it. This is my summer." Yeah,
that's it. Good stuff. Well, thanks for having me. Thanks for coming on.
No, really thanks for having me, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to stop the recording and then we'll chat in a minute. But for everyone else listening, just get on with it. get on with it. Take some advice from an awesome bloke and just get on with it and step into that next space that you've been waiting to be in. So for now, I will see you on the next time. And thanks for joining us today.